Okay, we are recording. We're here with our next guest. Could you tell us your name and a little about yourself?
My name is Momo. I'm 16 and I live in Dubai.
So, yeah, our first person from Dubai. Now, is Dubai, is that United Arab Emirates?
Yep.
Okay. So you have like the tallest building in the world where you are, right? My
But
God.
I've actually never been to it.
Why not?
I don't know, just like never had the chance, I guess.
Would you like to go to the top and check that out, or does that kind of freak you out?
Yeah, of course. Like I think I'm gonna go with my friends like after all of this is done, like the whole COVID thing.
Yeah. Yeah. How has the COVID thing been going on over there? Are you guys locked down still or?
Oh, well the lockdown like is over, but the cases are like kind of going up. So that's kind of like yeah.
Nerve-wracking?
hmm
Are you going to school right now like in person or are you guys on online classes?
Oh, right now we have like online. We were supposed to start like actual school a couple of days ago, but they extended online school. So like we're gonna do it for a couple of weeks and then like go to actual school.
What do you think about that? Are you a fan of that strategy?
Honestly, I just wish we could like continue with online school until like it's
To
all over.
forever. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's way better.
Yeah, dude, you get to like get up like 5 minutes before class, just like slink on, you know.
Exactly. Like in my bed, just like eating and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, eating your breakfast as like the teacher and
Yeah.
just not paying attention at all. I get you. Yeah, do you like school? Are you a fan?
Well, not really, but I'm forced to, I guess.
Oh God. What do you like learning about?
My favorite class is English because it's like the easiest class for me. But I also like health science. Like we started taking that like last year.
Hmm. So like your English class, like what do you read books in English class? I guess that's your
Oh,
second language or
yeah, it's my second language. Like sometimes we could like read books like as a whole, or like the teacher gives us basically like electronic versions of like books and stuff so we can like read them and then like write something about it, like for example like how like we relate to the subject and stuff like that.
okay, cool. What so like interested in science too, you said? Like like
Yeah, like health science.
you're interested in like maybe being a doctor or who knows, I
Oh
guess. I mean, it's that's so far away still, right?
yeah.
That's cool. Man, dude, I miss those days. I miss those days of like when you get older, it's like society's like you have to choose something or, you're not successful. And I just think that's a pile of crap.
Yeah, like I'm already stressing like to choose, like I want to choose before I'm out of school,
Yeah,
but I'm
it's
too indecisive.
I know. Well, there's just so many things to do. So many interesting
Exactly.
things, like why do you have to choose between psychology and, math or I don't know, because I really like math, but like really none of my other interests align with it at all. I'm an actor. So like actors don't need math. It's like how
Yeah.
how can you combine interests? I don't know. But have you ever traveled away from Dubai?
Oh yeah, I have like multiple times. I went to Russia, Azerbaijan. I went to Syria, and I went to what is it called? Thailand. Yeah.
Oh wow. So
That's
you've
right.
been yeah, so you've been around. What were your thoughts of those places?
Well, I really liked it because like it felt different, and basically like all of those countries like have colder weather than here, so I loved it. Yeah.
You like the cold.
hmm I'm
Wait,
a winter baby.
even Thailand or Thailand's kind of wet, I guess.
Yeah, well, like when we went to Thailand, like during the winter, so like it was kind of cold, like colder than here at least.
Oh. Like how hot is it there right now?
Like it gets up to like probably like 45 degrees in the
Oh, that's
like
right.
during the day.
That's right. You use Celsius. Like America
Yeah,
is the only place that uses Fahrenheit. Why do we use Fahrenheit?
I have no idea.
It just
Like
confuses. Yeah,
yeah,
very
but
dumb.
it's
But
pretty hot here. Like
yeah, yeah. I'm in Florida right now in the United States, and it is. Let's see how hot it is. It's 89, which is actually like the coolest it's been. 89 Fahrenheit.
is it night like in Florida?
It's
Like
1:14 p.m. It's in the afternoon.
oh okay,
What time is it there?
9 p.m.
Oh, okay. So you guys are like 8 hours ahead.
Hmm.
Well, I'm interested more in like like your thoughts of your other thoughts of like those places that you've been because I don't know, like I think a person's perspective of Russia from the US is different from a person's perspective, a person from Dubai going to Russia, you know? So like what was it about like culturally that was interesting to you about Russia and about Syria and about Thailand?
Like when I left seeing like cultures that are way like different from the way we live here. Like for example, in Russia, like the people dress differently, like and they act differently, like as a whole and stuff like that. So like it was new, but I liked it.
Were they like more quiet? Were they like standoffish? Were they more friendly?
No, they were actually like more like friendly, but also like how do I like approachable.
Oh, interesting. So like in Dubai, you feel like people are not as easy to approach than in Russia?
Yeah.
Hmm, interesting. What are some of your favorite parts about living in Dubai? Like what are the best parts of Dubai, the UAE?
The it's like seeing new people every time I go out because like here like the population of the people that are like not from here it's like 8 million and the population of the locals is like 1 million.
Oh,
So that's like yeah. So it's like I see new people from all around the world like every day I go out.
wow, such an international community.
Hmm.
Do you like so I guess you like city life, right?
Yep.
Do you think you'll always live in a city or would you like to kind of try something else out?
I'd love to like try something out like temporarily, but like I'd always prefer the city more. I just like love the action and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, I lived in New York for 5 years and it was just like constant like new things happening, really good food all over the place, right? Like always some kind of like new event happening. You get a bunch of crazy people, I'm sure, which is always kind of fun to check out, you know?
Yeah.
Do you
My
have
friend actually lives in New York and like she always tells me about like stories and stuff.
what have you heard? What's a story?
Well, train station crackheads and
Oh,
like crazy people outside of her house and stuff like that. Like it's just crazy all around.
yeah, the homeless population, you know, I'm not equating crackheads and homeless people, just to be clear. But like the homeless population has increased big time in New York and all around the United States. There's just a big homeless, you know, population, and we're trying to figure it out, but our government doesn't really care about it. I don't think, you know. At least they don't talk about it. Like I never hear Donald Trump ever talking about homeless people. You know, like that's the last thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are your thoughts of the United States? Um,
Well, like currently it's not like the best, but I'm actually I'm planning to move out to the US when I'm older, like to live with my friends like there.
New York.
Yep.
Awesome, man. That's great. So I guess that'll be after. Are you thinking of like going? coming to the US for college?
It's either like college or like after that. Depends like on how it works out for me.
Yeah. I guess, hmm. Like, will you be able to save money going to school in Dubai? Like, would that be cheaper for you and your family, you think?
Well, like right now, I go to school for like free basically
Wow.
because like the like us locals we get free education. So like up until college, I'm good. Yeah.
Wow. So, if you were to go to college, um, would you have to pay money to go to college?
Hmm.
Yeah. That's something that we're debating right now in America is free college tuition. Um, I mean, it's not really popular. It's a popular idea, but I don't think the majority of Americans really agree with it, which is interesting. Um, yeah, what are some like kind of what's the news going on in the UAE in Dubai? Like, what are we not seeing? You think in America?
Well, like recently, like there's been like a peace thing with Israel and the US and like UAE. Like a lot of people have been against it because like Israel are like bad guys.
Mm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, and like because there's a lot of Palestinians and like people who live like near that, like people who come from near that area, like who live in here. So it's like they feel kind of like betrayed in some sort of way.
Oh wow, are there a lot of Palestinians in the UAE?
Hmm.
Wow, what do you think about that whole Israel Palestine issue?
Well, it's like I'm against it, but apparently it's like it's supposed to help out like Palestine at the same time. So I'm like,
Oh really? How?
yeah.
What are you saying? Like the way that it is right now is helping the Palestinians?
I think like apparently like they made a peace agreement, so
Oh,
like Israel doesn't take over like the rest of Palestine, like to protect it or something.
that's such a strange situation because it's like, oh, we'll take half of your
Yeah,
homeland, but let's do a peace treaty and we won't take the rest of it. It's like,
exactly. It was like so confusing, like when I saw like because it came out of like out of nowhere.
was that just recently?
Hmm.
Wow.
Like maybe a month ago or something.
See, this is something that's not like, I mean, I guess I'm not on social media and I haven't been watching the news lately because it's just depressing. But like,
Yeah.
that's not something that we ever hear about, like these peace treaties. And do you think that Israel is a bad guy?
Well, they seem like it, that's for sure.
Mm. What was it like? You said you went to Syria. Was that before all the craziness happened?
Yeah, I was like really young when that happened. Like I barely remember anything from like I just remember going there.
Yeah. Huh. That's cool. Are there any other kind of things you think are different about Dubai than anywhere else in the world, or at least, or I guess, how about this? How is Dubai different from the rest of the Middle East?
We're like probably more modern and like less strict. Like the community here is like more welcoming to like people from outside and like you don't get judged as much and stuff like that.
Yeah, is it a religious country in terms of like is the government like
Yeah, it goes like
Muslim?
by the yeah.
Are you Muslim?
Mhm. Well,
What?
like not a completely like good like by the book and
I'm
stuff,
not a good Muslim. Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah. So like, but do you what by that do you mean like do you don't pray 5 times a day?
If my mom somehow watches this, I'm gonna be in trouble.
Well, it's you're just Momo. That's all we know. That's all we know. And they're like
Mhm.
a million people in the UAE. So and I have like 100 people. I'm like, there's no way. Um, so yeah, what do you think? What do you think about Islam as a religion? Like, what do you agree with, and what do you not agree with?
Like, there's a lot of like I agree with like 99% of the religion, but sometimes like the like overly religious people, it seems like they make up rules so they can um like keep away from the stuff they don't like. Like for example, they pick and choose stuff. Like for example, a guy would be like an alcoholic, which is like not allowed in Islam, but then he would like proceed to be homophobic. So he's like you can't just pick and choose what sins are okay and what sins are not.
Yeah, interesting. Like, I don't when at least like here in America, like after 9/11 happened and those radical Muslims, crashed a plane. I'm sure you know all about it.
Mhm.
The idea of the Middle East and of Muslims has been pretty negative here in the U.S. And I don't know. Have you ever talked to many people about that, like about like 9/11 and I guess radical Islam? Like, do you talk much about with your family or friends about radical Islam and just is it pervasive there? Is that a conversation topic?
Basically, like us as like Muslims as a whole, we just like we don't claim them anymore. Like they're not like part of us because like that's not how Islam works. They're just like trying to ruin our reputation, basically.
It's like the
So
loudest people in the room. Yeah.
yeah, so we just don't associate ourselves with them.
Do you know what the status of ISIS is these days? Like, are they kind of gone or are they coming back or
I haven't heard about them for like a long time,
that's
so I
good.
don't think like yeah.
That's a good sign. Um, yeah, I think it's. I mean, just for people watching or listening or thinking about this, like the same kind of thing that happens with radical Islam is something very similar to what happens to radical Christianity. In the Crusades, and that all religions can have radicals that kind of skew what the main heart of the message
Yeah,
is, which is love, empathy, and kindness. And
exactly.
so. Yeah, man. Before I get going, is there anything else that you'd like to kind of talk about that we haven't touched on? Anything on your mind?
I just want to like I want to say that sometimes people can like perceive Muslims and like Middle Easterns as like judgmental and like cold-hearted or stuff. And, like some of that is like really just fake, and it's the media trying to like ruin our reputation. Like we're way nicer than you think, and like yeah,
Yeah, great. Yeah, like I think that what you were talking about with like going to Russia and people were a little more open there. You were saying and um, easy to approach. It's like, do you think that there's kind of like a social conduct in Dubai or yeah, in Dubai where it is kind of closed off, um, and that people kind of take that for them for you guys being like cold or something.
like it's just like in here like the people are friendly, but like everyone just like minds their own business. So everyone like tries to like somehow avoid people. So like there's no trouble and stuff. But like in other countries, like the ones I went to, it's like everyone like tries to like get to know like that. Like if I see that person walking down the street, I'm gonna like say hi to him and stuff. But here,
Hmm.
like everyone's just like they mind their own business and like yeah,
Kind of sounds similar to New York. It sounds like you'll get along well in New York. People just kind of have their own thing, and it's not that they don't are. It's not that they're mean. It's just they have their own lives, and they consider their privacy something a little more important than maybe other places.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, Momo is great to. So, how do I spell it? Should I spell it like this?
yeah.
Awesome, cool. So you'll be the first person from Dubai on my channel. I'm really excited. And yeah, I'm gonna be posting it online in like 5 minutes. Make sure to subscribe. I think you already did. And yeah, man, it was nice talking to you.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. I'll see you later.
See you. Have a
Peace.
good day.
Bye.